New research exposes what happens when you're dying. We're talking about all that and so much more on today's extra large Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, so just make sure you're subscribed and let's jump into it. Your heart stops, your brain flatlines. By any definition of the word, you are dead. Or maybe not. Right, and I say that because a team of scientists observed patients in 25 hospitals around the world as they suffered cardiac arrest and they underwent CPR. And while the doctors and nurses worried about saving the patients' lives, researchers stuck electrodes to their heads and what they found was shocking. Even though to the doctors, the patients appeared to be totally comatose, on the inside, 40% of them experienced a heightened level of consciousness that's inaccessible to the living, which casts doubt on the long-held belief that after 5 or 10 minutes of oxygen deprivation, the brain begins to die. Instead, this study suggests that the brain goes into kind of a hibernation. The researchers observed surges of brain activity up to an hour after cardiac arrest. Now, reportedly, these aren't dreams or delusions or hallucinations that we're talking about, and technically speaking, they're not even near-death experiences. Rather, these patients had what the lead researcher terms as recalled experiences of death, with their brains showing signs of higher mental function as if they were fully conscious during chest compressions. And as far as why this happens, the study's authors guess that when the electrical activity in the brain flatlines, the so-called braking systems that filter out certain parts of it from your consciousness stop working. So essentially, you unlock your entire brain all at once, triggering a state of disinhibition that, quote, appears to facilitate lucid understanding of new dimensions of reality, including people's deeper consciousness, all memories, thoughts, intentions, and actions towards others from a moral and ethical perspective. With many survivors even saying they went back to a place like their childhood home and reviewed their life from beginning to end. Some also seeing a light, a tunnel, or a family member, feeling intense emotions like love, peace, and tranquility. But also, not all experiences were so wonderful. With some people recalling visions of faceless figures or monsters, or recognition that they had died, or a separation from their body. And so now with this study, it could influence not only practical stuff like how we restart the heart, prevent brain injuries, and do transplants, but also how we understand life, death, and human consciousness. And so I guess with that, I want to ask you the kind of basic and simple question of what happens when we die? What do you think? Tell me right now. For me personally, and I'm not a fan that I feel like this, I think it's just a black void of nothingness, but if I could choose, although I don't know if I would actually choose this, I would say that when you die, you begin a process of being reincarnated as people you were nice and horrible to. Because if that were to happen, the idea that what goes around comes around, that could actually be true for the first time ever. Because, as I've lived my life, there's just a lot of people who have done so much good that really never get it back. And there have also been just such horrible people that have never been held accountable. Anyway, I forgot this was a news show. Let's keep going.